What's up, everybody? And welcome back to On the Brick Road again. It is me, it is I, your host, Kyle. Good to be back. It's been a hot minute since I've done one of these because I've been very tired and busy lately. That's just the name of the game, though, sometimes. Powering through it, staying positive. I want you guys to stay positive, too. And maybe how you stay positive is you have a little bit of a treat on your drive in or your drive home from work. And you listen to some junk podcasts like this one right here. So we're going to go ahead and hop into it. Today we'll be talking about Lego Star Wars. Who would have thought that we would be discussing that topic on the podcast about Lego Star Wars? I know, it's very shocking. It is mind-boggling, some would even say. But more specifically, we're going to be talking about battle packs and how I think you should kind of be rating them, or at least how I kind of rate them. I think this is kind of a interesting topic. I think it's a fun topic because I think battle packs are something that is just so beloved when it comes to Lego Star Wars. I mean, people really do just love to see them. And I suppose that this type of ranking can be used for minifigure packs as well, although there's only ever been 2 of those, which is such a crying shame. I really thought Lego was going to start pumping out minifigure packs for Lego Star Wars after the first 2, but I guess not, for reasons. But yeah, so let's hop into it. There's 7 different categories, I think, for rankings when it comes to a battle pack, for seeing if it is a good battle pack. And not only that, but I would like to divide these into a group of 3, another group of 3, and then a single group of 1. And let's kind of hop into what these rankings are, and then I'll kind of go over examples as well. So the first group of 3 all revolves around the minifigures. Are the minifigures good, as in they look good, they're well designed? Are the minifigures amassable? So could you buy multiple of these? Do you want to build an army of these? And then finally, are the minifigures accurate? So do they match the source material? Do they, have the designs that they should have? And some of you may be saying, well, accuracy and the good looks of a minifigure should be pretty much the same thing. But I would disagree with this. I think they can be separated. Particularly something that really just comes to mind is the hover tank pilots that came in the Imperial tank from Rogue One. Those were good-looking minifigures. I think most people will agree that they're good-looking minifigures. But when you look at accuracy-wise, they don't have the correct helmet. They actually use the Shore Trooper helmet, when in reality, the helmet that they use is the helmet that they gave for the Range Troopers in that set from Solo. And so they used the wrong helmet on these guys. Now, the minifigure still looks good, but the wrong helmet was used. And sticking with the helmet theme, technically the helmet that is in use for Stormtroopers now, the Family Guy helmet, it's pretty accurate. Like, it looks pretty spot on if you just look at it by itself to the source material, but it doesn't look good. It does not doesn't fit well. It looks oversized. It doesn't work on a minifigure. So I do think there is some leeway to talk about this. I think this with waist capes as well. Technically, the printed waist capes on the front look accurate. They look right, but they don't look good. It doesn't quite look up to par. They've done better, or they could do better. So I think those are different. Now, the amassable quality is very, very easy to determine. Like, is this a minifigure that you would be okay with having multiple of? I'm okay if I have, a dozen Stormtroopers. I'm not okay if I have a dozen Tatooine Lukes. Like, I don't want a battle pack with Tatooine Luke in it because he's not amassable. He is one individual. He is not, like a member of an army, right? And I think you can go a bit further with this. Excuse me. There may be certain minifigures that are amassable, but when they all look the exact same, you maybe don't want to amass them. I would contribute this to maybe the Mandalorian Battle Pack. In the Mandalorian Battle Pack that came out a while ago, it had these 4 Mandalorians, and they were all different colors. They looked really good. They were well-designed minifigures. I think everyone can kind of agree on that for the most part. When it comes to accuracy, there wasn't any source material at the time to compare it to. So it was just kind of like, they were just kind of made probably off of, maybe some concept art from Lucasfilm. So you couldn't really judge it harshly for that. And even later, the Mandalorian did have Mandalorians that looked like this on the show, and the minifigures look pretty accurate to them. So those 2 categories are great. But when it comes to amassability, I don't want to buy 2 of these battle packs because the Mandalorians look so unique and so specific that they stand out. And they look like individuals. They don't look like, just a generic army builder type of group. So that's kind of something I would judge that. And those 3 categories are just for the minifigures. But then there's also the exact same 3 categories, but in relation to the build. Is the build good? Is the build accurate? And is the build amassable? Now, the good and accuracy categories are slightly different here, because you can have a good build, and that means not only that it looks good, but it's well designed, it's sturdy, and it has play features. So, I'm trying to think of a good example here. Is perhaps the Solo Imperial Battle Pack that had the Patrol Trooper speeder bike. That speeder bike, it was accurate. It looked like it was from the source material. It was very well designed in that aspect, but also it was a good item. Like, it was sturdy. It wasn't like going to break apart or anything. So it was designed well. And it had a play feature in the sense that it had like a little, I believe it, maybe it didn't. I thought it had a stud shooter on it. Maybe it didn't, though. If it didn't have a stud shooter, then it's kind of lacking a play feature, but I'm pretty sure it did. And also you could put a guy on the bike, and that's a play feature, I guess, is, have someone ride in. It's swooshable, as some people say. So overall, I think that's a good item. Maybe one of the best builds that's ever been in a battle pack, honestly. Like, I will rant and rave about that thing. I really like its design. I really like the set. That's just a little side note, though, of me being like, oh my gosh, this set, I love this set, but anyways, so, looking, just kind of at that, you see how accuracy and a good build can be different. Because you could have a thing that isn't accurate, but maybe it's still a good build in a sense. I think of the Clone and Jedi battle pack. The ship is obviously supposed to be this like miniature LAAT. And so it's not accurate in the slightest. And sometimes Lego just makes up a vehicle, and if they make up a vehicle, then I feel like you can't judge accuracy. You have to kind of give them a pass. But this is not a made up vehicle. This is just a shrunken down version of a vehicle. Like, they just basically made kind of like a weird micro fighter version. And so like accuracy is not there, obviously. But when it comes to just being a good build, it functions. You can put a guy in it. It looks kind of neat, I think. It's not like the most beautiful thing in the world, but it looks kind of neat. So like it's a good build. It's just not an accurate build in that case. And then of course you have the amassability. Do you want multiple of these in your army? And kind of taking a look at the newer battle pack that just came out, the Super Commandos, Imperial Super Commandos versus Mandalorians. I don't want multiple brick, like, rock walls with doors in them. Like, I do not want multiple of those. I think it's fairly accurate. I think it's pretty good. It's not the best. It's in terms of, is it a good build? It's an okay build, I think, in that category. It is pretty accurate, though, so I'll give it that. But when it comes to amassability, like, it just tanks on amassability. Like, it's just not good, in the slightest. So, I feel like, that's something you have to consider. Now, if you have a battle pack, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like, let's look at the OG Clone Battle Pack, Clone Walker Battle Pack. You would want multiple of those walkers. Like, you would probably want, like, a couple of those kind of, like, flanking, like, an AAT or, like, a turbo tank or something. Like, you would want that. You would find that interesting. You would find that cool. So that's an acceptable one. Now, the final category we're going to go over is number 7, and that is price. And price, is just, do you think you're getting bang for your buck? Like, and I think this kind of changes for every single battle pack, because one $20 battle pack may not be worth, $20, but another $20 battle pack may be worth the $20. And that's all in your mind. So I don't think you can just say, yep, $20 is a good amount for a battle pack, or nope, $20 isn't a good amount for a battle pack, because it all is individual and up to you. Same thing with all the other categories. If you give 10 people a battle pack and you give them these 7 criteria, all 10 of them have a good chance of rating this battle pack differently, because their views of what is good and what's what is, like, amassable is very different. And it really is very individualistic in that sense. So, just as an example, I'm going to go over and I'm going to, like, rate a battle pack. I'm actually going to rate probably, let's rate 2 battle packs, actually. And the first one I'm going to rate is, I think I'm going to rate the Rogue One Rebel Trooper Battle Pack. Let's rate that. Let's just kind of give it a little overview. So we'll start with the minifigures. Do the minifigures look good? I think the minifigures look good. I think they're well designed. I think they have good prints. I like the helmets. The guns are not great, so that subtracts a little bit on the good category. But overall, I think the minifigures are pretty doggone great. Are they accurate? I think they are. I think they look very well compared to the source material. Just very spot on there. Oh, man. Oh, excuse me. I'm very impressed with how they designed them. I'm very pleased with how they designed them. But are they amassable? Not really, unless you want to do some modifications, because this battle pack comes with 2 minifigures that are named, at least 2. There is Melshi, but then there is also that's Sergeant Melshi, but then there's Lieutenant, and I'm blanking on his name. It starts with, like, a T. It's like Tun, some with a T, and I cannot think of it. Most unfortunate that I cannot think of it. But I am blanking on it right now, so, what can you do? But, so unless you want to, like, swap the heads and the hands, then that set technically isn't really that amassable, so, unfortunately, it really isn't. And, this is kind of just like a curse of Rebel battle packs. They're so unique, it is hard to make them amassable sometimes. I think you can get away with doing it if you make it all so they're, like, generic faces, but these guys have very memorable faces. Even the non-named characters in this battle pack, like one that has, like, a big orange beard, it's like, that guy's going to stand out. Like, I'm going to remember that guy. So yeah, it is just a little unfortunate on that front. It can be amassable with some modifications, though. But are you willing to put in those modifications? That's kind of individually up to you. And so I don't want to rank it being like, well, yeah, it's amassable if you modify it. So it's not amassable. It's great minifigures, accurate minifigures. They're not amassable. The only downside, besides the non-amassability, is the stud shooter blasters. Now we look at the builds. The builds, on the other hand, are amassable. You can have multiple of their speeders. They're really generic. They're small. They're compact. And even the turret thing, which you probably don't want as much of, you can have a couple of those and have like two of them flanking an entrance somewhere, or have a couple hidden out in like the rubble of like a town or a city. So I think that's pretty amassable. I think that's good. Accuracy-wise, this is all just made up, so they get a pass on the accuracy scale. And then when it comes to the how good they are, do they look good? I think they look pretty good. I'm happy with how they look, so I would give them a good on that. So overall, like, just pretty doggone good. Like that is a good rating for both the minifigures and the builds overall. Like, yeah, maybe you don't want to amass this set. Maybe this isn't a set you want to get a lot of, but it's definitely a set you want to pick up at least one of. And I think that's a good distinction you can kind of learn from doing this ranking. Is like, is this a set I want one of? Is it a set I want none of? Or is it a set that I want multiple of? In this case, this is probably a set you only want one of, unless you want to do some modifications and you want to have a whole bunch of different like turret setups. But yeah, price-wise, the price was good. I can't even remember the price, but I remember faintly when I originally got this, I was pretty happy with the price. And I just thought it was a pretty good deal overall. But yeah, so now I want to look at the solo battle pack, because I feel like the solo battle pack is not as beloved as that Rebel battle pack from Rogue One. I feel like most people can look at the Rebel battle pack from Rogue One and they're like, oh my gosh, it's the Rebel battle pack from Rogue One. Like, it's one of the better battle packs. But the solo battle pack, maybe not one of the better battle packs, historically speaking. And I would like to put in a disclaimer. I, like many people, I wish this battle pack was of Mimban, like Mud Troopers. I would have preferred that, I think. I would have loved to see that, but it didn't happen. And, that's just kind of the way things went down there. But I'm not going to judge this battle pack based off of what it could have been. I'm going to judge it based off of what it is. And I like what it is. Maybe that's an unpopular opinion, but let's go over it. The minifigures. Bum, bum, bum. Are they accurate to the source material? The patrol troopers and the Imperial officer are certainly accurate to the source material. Now, what did they call it? An immigration officer? Like, I don't even know what they called the minifigure that has the Imperial Navy trooper helmet, but then the Imperial ground crew, like, chest printing. I don't really know, like, what they called that minifigure exactly, and I cannot recall seeing that minifigure in Solo. It's been a while though, so if I like tracked it down, maybe I would be like, oh yeah, no, I found that minifigure. It's right here. But I mean, it's an okay minifigure. I think it looks fine. So overall, I would say the set minifigure wise is accurate. I think even if this one is just made up, if it's made up, you can't really judge accuracy. But the ones that are there look accurate. They look good. They're well designed. And they're so well designed, I would say they're all good minifigures. I think the printing is good. I think the molds are good. Like, truly, these are some high quality minifigures. I mean, the patrol troopers even have their own unique helmet molds, which is really nice. And overall, I think they definitely get a pass on that. And then there's the amassability category. And the reason why I chose this set is not only because I have a soft spot in it. Well, the reason I chose this set to review and to give as an example is because I have a soft spot in my heart for it. Because most people would say they don't want to amass this set. I would want to amass it, though. Because you get a low-ranking Imperial officer, so you can have multiple of those to be on the bridge of a ship or just to be at control panel, so I like having multiple low-ranking officers. And then you get this immigration officer, which I think works well as a ground crew inside, like if the interior of a Star Destroyer. So I have a shelf that has like a hangar bay, basically, is what it is. And so like I want to put these minifigures in here to be the ground crew in this hangar bay on a Star Destroyer. And they work well with other Imperial Navy troopers. They just kind of match up. So I would want to amass more of those. I would totally be fine with amassing more of those. And then you have the patrol troopers, which, I don't want like an army of them, but having a couple of them is nice. You can have them patrolling an area. You can have them with their speeder bikes. So I don't know. I think this is a pretty decent set to amass. And I'm happy to amass it. But yeah. So, sorry, folks. I'm getting over. I have to make this choice where do I think I can get around all these slow-moving cars before my exit? And the answer is I don't think I can, and I'm not going to try some a-hole to like squeeze in, so I'm just going to get over and I'll have to go slow behind them, but oh well, it's fine. But yeah, anyways, yeah, so personally, I like this set, and so I want to rank it higher than some people would, and that's okay, because everyone kind of views a battle pack differently. And then, of course, you have the build itself, very amassable. There's multiple of them in the movie. You can have multiple of them. Very well designed. It looks very good. I think it just looks cool. It functions. It holds up. And I guess the good category is also where your personal interpretation comes in. Like, even if something is accurate, you may look at it and be like, yeah, I don't think it's good, though. And so, like, I don't know, like, quick little side note, you may have, like, the Clone Trooper Battle Pack that came out recently, the big Battle Pack that came with, like, the 3 normal clones and then the Shock Trooper clone. They're very accurate, I think, overall. And maybe they look nice in a sense that they look nice, but I don't think they're good minifigures because I don't really collect them. So my personal opinion comes into play there. But yeah, back to the Solo Battle Pack. The build itself is also very accurate. It looks very similar to how it did in the movie. Very well done. I think Battle Packs sometimes struggle to have a build that is a very accurate build. They usually make builds that are very downsized, sometimes upsized with like the case of the ATRTs, but usually very downsized, or they make builds that are just completely their own design, which if they're their own design, they can be good. Like I think about the ship that's in the Inferno Squad Battle Pack. That's a very nice looking ship, I think, but if I'm correct, it's completely Lego's own design. But yeah. And then price for Solo Battle Pack, also very good. So overall, I think the Solo Battle Pack is fantastic. High praise on my part. And not only high praise is a good set, but also high praise is a good set to Army build. Even if you're not Army building it a lot. But yeah, that's just kind of my 2 cents on Battle Packs and how they should be built and made and, or I guess not really built or made, but categorized. How they should be categorized. And ideally, a battle pack is going to fit in all these roles. Like, you would look at a battle pack and you'll be like, oh my gosh, it's amassable, it's accurate, it looks good, it's something I want. It's not just like, oh, it's a good battle pack, but I don't want it. It's a good battle pack that I want, and the price is spot on. But not every battle pack is going to reach that category, obviously, and I think battle packs can still be pretty good if they don't quite reach every single marker. Specifically when it comes to army building, you can have a battle pack and you just buy one of them and be like, I'm happy with one of them. It's not maybe ideal for everyone, but it can happen. But anyways, that really is my 2 cents on this. I have talked up, battle packs and all that for way too long now. Obviously, everyone has their own opinions about how to judge battle packs, though, and all LEGO sets for that matter. But personally, this is just kind of how I look at battle packs in my purchasing realm. But I hope maybe that this is giving you some insight on making purchases, or maybe it makes you question some things you didn't think of before. And hey, maybe you'll want to let me know in the comments, like, how you personally want to look at battle packs. That would be pretty cool. Feel free to say that in the comments. It'll be nice. And I guess I will leave it there, folks. And I hope you have a very good day. Stay positive out there. It's a wild world. Stay safe. Yeah. And that is about it. This has been on the Brick Road again with your host Kyle. Signing off. Peace.